everyone? Welcome to That Kind of Love podcast numero uno.
Number one, though.
Number one.
Number one.
It's the first podcast, you guys. And it's your girl, Logan Hodge. And,
my name is Trey Hodge.
And, yeah. We is here with our first podcast episode. Before we kind of get into what we want to talk about today, let's give you a little introduction to who we is.
Mm-hmm. What your name is?
As you heard, my last name is Hodge, and his last name is Hodge. So we
married now.
I mean, we could be cousins, but
Ooh.
I don't think that'll be right.
Wait a minute. Oh.
But we is married. We've been together for 6 years, in a relationship for 6 years, but we've been married for like a month, you guys.
A month and a few days.
So we newlyweds. We knew and we wed. So we newlyweds, right?
All right.
Right? Okay. Why are you whispering? Like there's no way these people can hear you if you were whispering.
I feel like they...
Say it with your chest. But so we've known each other for a very long time. Actually, we met each other in third grade. Shout out to J. Will Jones. J. Will Jones.
But now it's not J. Will Jones anymore.
Not.
It's
mess. I don't know. Anyway, and then then we kind of separated because I moved, and then we met back up again in middle school.
Sixth grade.
Sixth grade.
She couldn't stay away from you.
Stop lying, bro. Third grade wasn't checking for you. Sixth grade still wasn't checking for you. And then we kind of went our separate ways, huh?
I was just saying your heart was there.
It wasn't. Then we went our separate ways, and we met back up like a little bit after high school. So technically college. I just don't call it that because we didn't really go. But
You didn't go to college. I went to college.
I did go to college. Dang, we've been together for 6 years, and you think I didn't go to college? You liar. Why you lie so much?
Well, you went to college. You just didn't like it.
What they got to do with me going or not?
Everything.
Anyways, this is the foolery I have to deal with all the time. But and then I just kind of ran across his little Twitter page. It was like, hey, I know him. That's Milliliter. You know, if you know his government, you understand why that kind of ties in together. But anyway, and then he asked me to be his girlfriend, and he ain't been on my face since then. So anyway,
so wait, so that's her side of the story.
Try it.
I know I ain't gonna take a lot of time, but I just have to share this because I feel like they think I'm chasing.
Okay, go.
And that ain't the whole case. Third grade, we wasn't feeling each other. We were just cool, whatever. Then sixth grade, whatever. Then after in college, whatnot, I was a single, bachelor, doing my thing, handling my business, and I would posted something on Twitter, and I was like. Something I forgot exactly what I said.
No.
I said I was going to the mall.
And I was like,
you was like, buy me something. Mm-hmm. First off, fellas, in the beginning, that just sounds like a gold digger. So I just kind of was like, okay, she feeling me. I understand that, but you're not gonna get my money. So then later on, I think it was like a week later or so. It was like. I think you put on your Twitter that you was going to a party.
And you was like, ooh, bad, like where you going? Like I'm finna pop up.
Yeah, because I was trying to stunt on my haters. So I had to go. So I came with a friend and she came with her crew and whatnot. And
he wouldn't get out my face the whole time.
This is my story. So
I can't let you be telling the people lies.
No, this is exactly what it is. And after that, she just couldn't get enough of me. She came over my house. We went to go play basketball. She was all up under me. I was like, I'm a young bachelor, but I'm going to just let this ride. And so it was one day we was walking in the mall, and she put it towards me that she wanted me to ask her.
Why you lie so much? Oh, my God.
She wanted me to ask her for us to be together. So I asked
first of all, I thought it was going to be short. And you still talking.
The long version is 15 minutes. I recorded it. So that's how it went. Don't let her fool you.
Okay, anyway, we're together now. We love each other, and it's amazing.
Yeah, she's great now. She's not a gold digger.
Anyway, but now that you know us a little bit more, let's talk about why we're doing this podcast and what it's going to be about. As you know, it's called That Kind of Love. So obviously, it's about love
Or that kind of.
of of any sort. Shut up. Whether it be like an intimate relationship or a friendship or really anything, any type of relationship with another human being. And we're really doing it because we want to, I guess, share our value of it. Because I feel like with our generation, if y'all don't know, we're 26, so we're pretty young. And with our generation, we tend to not value relationships as much as our parents did.
Yeah.
Which is really sad. And
to me, it's more so everybody looking at how it's supposed to look, but they don't know how to get to that point.
Exactly.
And they don't know that when it comes to actually being in a relationship, it's not about us trying to look good and us trying to play us, like, be a certain way. It's literally us trying to, like, die to our old ways or adjust to some changes that we have going on. I mean, some changes that has to come about. I messed that all up.
I mean, you just like skipping stuff, but it's cool. It's the first episode. It's all right.
Well, I was trying to segue.
Stay in your lane.
I was trying to
stay in your lane.
I was trying to segue.
We wasn't segueing.
Oh,
but it's cool. It's cool
okay.
though. It's cool. That's what marriage is about.
Yeah.
The husband mess up and the wife fix it.
That's
so we
exactly
fixing it.
That's exactly it.
But going back to what I was saying, it's just more so of people want that 30-year relationship, but they don't want to work for it. They like to give up. They like to give up in the beginning when you have your first argument. But we all know that you have to kind of move past that and, make adjustments, as my husband was saying. And
that sounds good right there. Your husband?
Shut up.
I'm your husband.
And we just want to share. We feel like we've kind of been through enough and we've been together long enough and seen a lot of things in our own families, in our, in our friends' relationships, in our own. Jesus, I cannot talk. And we just want to share that information with you. And also, as we learn, we also want to bring that information to you, too.
So this ain't going to be no lovey-dovey, they perfect. Because I know, number one, I'm not perfect. And God knows Logan is not perfect whatsoever.
Not too much.
So we just want to give it to y'all raw. We feel like, especially in this generation, like we said.
That's weird.
Okay. But it's okay. Well, we want to give it to you unfiltered. How about that?
Yes.
Okay. We want to give it to you unfiltered. Because, like I said, a lot of people see the glamorous side of it.
Yeah.
And we're going to show you the ins and outs. And we're going to have guests as well as time goes on. But
eventually.
We're just in the now right now.
All right. So let's dive into our first topic. For episode 1, like... Babe, we gotta get like some sound effects, like hand claps.
No, we ain't gonna do no hand claps. It ain't whack.
What?
Well, maybe. Well,
we gotta get sound effects. Anyway, but let's get into our first topic, and it is called adjusting to change. Adjusting to change. A lot of times when you get into relationships, and listen, we're talking about the good relationships, not the bad ones, okay?
What are the bad ones?
We have to be clear because it's times where you do actually get into a relationship with somebody who's worth fighting for, but you don't want to die to your old ways. And when I say die to your old ways, I'm talking about the little things that you need to change in order to coexist with another person. We live in a Twitter and Instagram age where people like to put up memes and they're like, I ain't changing for nobody. If he can't take me with my attitude, then we not meant to be together.
God made me the way I am.
And as funny as those memes are, it is the dumbest thing I've ever heard from somebody who is looking for a man or looking for a woman. Like, even guys, like, man, I'm going to go out and do what I want to. Like, my girl can't tell me what to do. Are you retarded? You have to change. It's certain things that you should and you need to change in order to coexist with another human being.
So one thing I want to do is get them an insight of our relationship and how some things we had to change as well. So if I think about me in particular, I can say that one thing that I had to change was not being so quiet in voicing my not my opinions, but voicing how I feel about certain things. Like, say for instance, Logan gets me upset about something. I'm the type to just shuts down, shuts out. I don't talk to her. I don't look at her. I got to make her feel it. She got to feel that I'm mad at her.
So childish.
But I ain't gonna let her know. But she just got to feel it, and that was just what I was comfortable with. But because I saw the value in Logan, and I saw that she not necessarily she can be someone that I can marry, but I really just enjoyed spending time with her. I decided that I wanted to change for that, and it didn't happen overnight. But it was something I had to constantly be reminded about. And even to this day, we still talk about it 6 years later. So, I think that's a real thing when it changed. So, what is something that you had to change? Everything.
Well, I'm actually glad that he brought that up because he's speaking. I had three things, not technically just with me, but three things that I think people do need to change when they get into a serious relationship that they think can go further and possibly be the big thing. And he spoke on one of them, and it was communication, attitude, and habits. Those are the three big things. There's other things too, depending on who you are, but those are the three big things that you do have to change when you get into a relationship with someone. I'm not dodging the question. The one thing that I had to change, was attitude. I found myself saying, once I'm mad, I can't not be mad no more. So if Trey made me mad about something, I would just like him, I would completely shut down. Nothing make me happy. Literally nothing. He could be like, let's go get food, and I'm still mad. I'm gonna eat and be mad. It was ridiculous. And I found myself always saying, I can't change. When I get mad, I just be mad. I can't get over it. And that's literally just me being completely selfish and not understanding that there's two people there's two people in the situation and not just myself and my own feelings. Even when I was upset about something, Trey also had feelings about the situation too that I needed to listen and understand about. But other than that, I was good. We was chilling.
She was perfect. Not.
We was good. We was chilling. But those are the things that you should change. Let's talk about things that you shouldn't change. Morals. Fellas, ladies, do not change your morals or beliefs for anyone, especially if they're good ones. Let's talk about good ones, not stealing, not killing. If somebody drops a 5, give it back. Manners. If you find yourself changing those attributes about yourself because the other person either doesn't do it or you're trying to appease them or make them happy, get out. Just get out. Literally. Just do the opposite of what he did and get out. And get out. Don't stay. Because I don't even know how to explain that because for me it's just common sense, but honestly sometimes it's not for people, and I get that, and it takes practice to learn to just move away from things that are toxic, and that takes practice. It took me and Trey some time to possibly do that in our own lives, so work on that.
So I got a question for the people that may be dating that don't believe in the same thing. That's not necessarily changing morals per se, but that's something that's that you live upon, and I consider morals as what you live by. Mm-hmm. So what would you say about that?
My opinion. Mine. I personally don't think it would work. And not from a toxic, crazy thing. I think it'll just be a lot of butting heads on unnecessary stuff. Because if somebody believes in a different... Let me not even say that. If somebody believes that there is another God, there's no arguing with that person, and you will spend, and then if for some reason they decide to convert, that's years of their belief that you have to change, on top of trying to be in a successful relationship. So, honestly, that person may be great. Just because they believe in something else does not mean that it's a bad thing or that they, are bad people. It's just, what are you willing to go through? Honestly, that's all it's about, because it's hard for people to have different political beliefs in a house, let alone different religious beliefs. But to each his own.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I'm sure you can find somebody just as great who believes in the same thing that you do.
Yeah, and I definitely won't say that it's impossible to do, because I believe that anything is possible.
Yeah.
But with any success, there's going to be some issues and some drama with it. So if it's working out for you, to each his own. Y'all do y'all thing. But there will be some uncommon ground, just like if somebody else in any other situation, it's gonna be uncommon ground. So if you can find a common ground with that, I think you'll be Gucci.
Yeah, for sure. And so we have the three things that, I think are the most important when it comes to getting a relationship and changing your mindset, especially for you singles, the ones who've been single for a long time, for over a year. Your whole demeanor and mindset is completely different than somebody who is either been in a long-term relationship or is getting out of one, or trying to get into one. Y'all have to be a little bit more open to change, because that's a whole different ball game when you don't have to call somebody and let them know where you are, or what you're doing. In the beginning, it can be a little frustrating to just have somebody calling your phone all the time. I totally get it. I get it. But if that's what you want, if you want to be in a relationship, then you have to be willing to change. The three things: attitude, communication, and your habits. Your habits are the hardest ones to change, because you cannot continue to use the excuse of, it's just a habit. I'm sorry. It's just what I do. I can't help it. This is what I always did at my house. Those no longer exist. And trust me, the other person does not care. Ask Trey. I do not care. And the one thing that I can say that I always used to tell him, just because you didn't do it on purpose does not mean it didn't hurt my feelings. So always remember
I haven't heard that in a long time.
I know, right? Growth. High five. Growth. Growth. But that's another thing, when you're going through the process of changing, always remember your excuses mean nothing to the person that you hurt. So just remember that.
And definitely for all the singles out there, when you get in a relationship and, you think it's going to be all willy-nilly and perfect flowers and peachy weather, just know that when you get in a relationship and it's a good relationship that's healthy for you, you're going to find out some things about you that ain't all that great. You ain't, you ain't all that what you thought you was.
No, for sure.
Because I know it was some things for me, I was like, man, I'm good on this, so I'm doing pretty well for myself. And then Logan comes along and shuts that down and tells me I got work to do.
Nah, fam. Nah.
and your acceptance, or your what's the word? Your way of handling that situation or changing for that person is going to have a lot of results towards your relationship, basically.
For sure.
That can be the in or the out of it. Basically, if you don't change this, it ain't gonna work out. Or if you do change this, we can't work this out.
And just to let y'all know that, like I was saying in the beginning, this is not just about intimate relationships either. This also caters to family, to friends. We sometimes have friends that we're, I don't know, should I move on? Should I kind of, get out of this? Or should, I guess, is this a real friendship? And that's sometimes some things you have to change too, because sometimes we mistreat our friends and don't even realize it, because we're not looking at it as a relationship. We're just like, they whatever, type situation. But, you have to take the same value and the same thoughts when you go into those type of relationships too. Is your attitude towards them great? Is it receptive? Are you receptive to what they're saying and what they're, feeling at the time? Are you communicating with them? If you can't show up somewhere, are you telling them? Or are you just shrugging it off like, whatever, they just friends, I can get over it, type situation. And your habits, like your bad habits of not calling them or letting them know you got home. Y'all, tell your friends when you get home. Some of us care. We care, baby. We care.
It's crazy because now we kind of sound old.
I
feel like we
getting
getting older. Well, we not old whatsoever, but it's just like you can tell the difference between a young friendship and a mature friendship. It's like our values and our goals a little bit different. But that's a whole nother thing in itself. But still, in general, we still want to help when it comes to relationships in general. Yes. That's what the main thing is about.
And before we go, let's talk about if you don't change, can your relationship grow?
Nope.
I mean, no.
Nada.
No, I don't think it will grow. Not in the way that you would like it to. Like I said, there's some things that you shouldn't change, and that's a good thing. So that relationship doesn't need to grow. You need to leave and kind of just move on and see what else God has for you, or sometimes you may need to be alone. But the short answer, like, it's really not even reason. There's really no reason to even get into that question because no, like, you cannot grow if you don't change. And just for instance, for Trey and I, we went through, I want to say like maybe a year or two of just literally learning each other and adjusting and deciding if we wanted to make those changes in order to be together, to make the relationship last. And guess what? We did. Mm-hmm. We for sure decided that the little things that we were holding on to that we did not need was not worth our relationship.
Yeah.
Like my attitude was not worth the relationship. His lack of communication skills was not worth holding on to. And the beauty of it that worked out for us, which I'm super thankful for, is that the attributes that we needed to get rid of made us grow as people and also in our relationship. It's helping us with our business and our transactions and relationships with other people outside of our relationship also. So you never know. Sometimes you just let go of the attitude and your bad habits and open up a little bit more, communicate. Mm-hmm. When you're upset, let them know. Do not scream it. Just let them know, hey, what you did made me upset. Can you fix it?
Now, while you fixing it, I'm going to go in this other room and have you think about it. I still remember the day that I had to let Logan know, like, either you got an ultimatum, and I don't know if you remember this, but we was coming to the house. In the car, you was mad at me, and I think I was saying something like, you need to figure out if this is what you want. I need you to start changing this. And it had to do with your attitude. And you was sitting there looking at the window.
I was mad.
You was looking at the window like, well, whatever. And it's not even like a arrogant type thing, but it was just like, look, if you want this relationship to work, and granted, this was the first year when I was doing all the correcting with Logan.
Man.
From year 2 to like year 4 or 5, it was all her correcting me. But the first year, I had to let it be known, like, no, that attitude stuff, it ain't gonna work. That stuff ain't gonna work in this relationship. And so I just left it in her hands, and I thank God that she decided to make that change in her life. So, like I said, before we go, there's another question I do want to ask, because I feel like it's good to talk about these things and different examples and so on and so forth, but I don't feel like it's complete until we are able to give some type of solution to changing in general. So, babe, I want you to go first. How do you go about changing, or what is a solution to say if somebody's saying, oh, I don't know how to change, I'm so stuck in my ways? How would you tell that person, look, this is how you change?
The first thing is you have to figure out why you are changing. Most problem is people do it for other people. And in a sense, I did change my attitude for Trey, but I also knew that I needed to change it for myself first. I need to understand that it's not getting me anywhere. Like, if I could literally hold on to something for a whole day when it literally took 2 seconds out my day for the situation to happen, that is crazy. Like, it's just crazy. So, I mean, the first step is honestly figuring out why you want to change. And then you have to think about why you were doing it in the first place. You have to figure, like, for Trey, his communication skills. Why was he holding on to it? His thing was he was holding on to it because he was scared about my reaction or how I would react to the situation. So instead, he just decided to be mad for himself for days.
Nah, let me tell y'all.
Like,
she would blow up.
No, I would never. And that's the thing about it. I never blew up. It was just something that was going on with him that he felt that I was going to just like freak out on him if he ever told me something.
Oh, yeah, because I felt like you was going to be doing it in public.
Yeah,
and I'm not a public
Yeah,
type person.
and I was like, I've never done that. But anyway, figure out why. And, you know, honestly, once you nip that in the bud, then I think change will happen for yourself. And then from, then everything will kind of be a rollout situation for you.
Yeah. And I would say just one step ahead of that, being aware that you do need to change. Because if you don't know that you need to change, for my single people, you by yourself, you living your life, you making money, you living your best life, you like, life is going good for me, I'm perfect, and I've been in that situation before. Man, I'm still in it. Not even that I'm just perfect, but life is going in a good route. And I don't really have a lot of people telling me, you need to do this to get better. But, and when you're single, you may be living your life and nobody telling you nothing about yourself because you're already feeling good. But when you get in a relationship, this person telling you, you should do this, you should fix this, blah, 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 if they have your best interest. So the first step is to become aware. You need to become aware that you need to change. You need to become aware of it, because without becoming aware of it, you don't even get to figure out your why, like my wife said. You don't get to that step. You don't get to get. Okay,
anyway. But thank you, Trey. Thank you for that. Look at you.
I got you.
Being cute and having knowledge.
Look at me.
Y'all have to see. Y'all should see what he's doing. He is stupid. But anyway, we want you to write these 3 things down, or just remember them. The 3 things to adjusting. Well, 3 things that you need to adjust in order to change is your attitude. Your communication skills.
Communication.
And your habits.
Them habits there.
Those are the 3 most important, not even the most important, but the top 3 things that you need to change and adjust, especially if you're trying to grow a relationship with anybody in your life. And that's it, y'all. Thank you for listening to That Kind of Love. Episode uno. What?
Español.
It's uno.
I know.
So what are you saying?
It's slang. Uno. Uno.
Anyway.
Uno.
Peace, love, and happiness.
We got to end it with something.
I just did.
Oh.
Dang.
Do it again.
All right, y'all. Peace, love, and happiness. We love y'all. We all about love. Black love. Bye.
That kind of love.